money. I've been driving around in my car, looking for some kind of open bar. It's gonna be alright, gonna be alright. Got no money, but I'll work it out with my charm. Having a good time and doing.
Hello and welcome to the Nerd in Motion. It's Saturday. I'm having a nice cold beer whilst I'm sat here. It's actually DC Brown. It's an American beer. It's what's it say? It's an Indian Pale. Oh gosh, I nearly knocked everything over. I watched this video yesterday, and it's cool. It's from a channel called China Observer. Now, I feel like a lot of what this China Observer channel has on is a bit like propaganda stuff, but there's a few videos in here that are slightly worrying, and everybody's getting very excited about these BYDs that are coming out in the UK, and you know all the trouble with Daihatsu where they were fudging the figures and the safety ratings and all of that because they were like putting side beams in and stuff like that, and then the actual production model doesn't have that. Just have a look at this, and we'll go through very quickly some of these things because I'm a little concerned, if I'm honest. So this is a bit where they're talking about the
bearings are completely falling apart. No wonder it's making such a noise. These bearings are dirt.
Okay, BYD, they're using some bad bearings. I worked for Jeep for years. They also, in the Dana axles, use terrible bearings. So I don't really think that that's much of a thing. But
no wonder BYD's profits are so high. I bought this BYD Formula Leopard 5 for 300,000 yuan to test the hardness of its steel.
看一下我撞边形这个它的钢材的软硬。
It's a 3-ton vehicle, but when I twisted the beam with a wrench, it just bent like this.
Now, to be fair, again, in BYD's defense, this is the end of a chassis leg. And quite often, that bit of metal will be sacrificial. If you've ever opened your bonnet or you've looked down inside your engine bay, you'll see the legs of the car and you'll see like little divots in it. Those are crumple zones. And quite often, those sections will be soft. But let's keep watching.
Can anyone tell me what the hardness of the steel should be for the beam in this off-road vehicle?
A car owner reported that after the radiator of his Formula Leopard 5 was damaged, he decided to cut off the guard plate for replacement. During this process, he tested the beam's strength and was shocked to find it alarmingly fragile. Demonstrating with a wrench, the owner showed that the steel material bent as easily as papier-mâché under slight pressure. The owner raised concerns about the car's structural integrity, questioning the reliability of the Formula Leopard 5's CT.
That bit where he pulled on the subframe, that shouldn't happen. That shouldn't happen at all.
TC structure, and its high-strength steel composition. Given that it's marketed as an off-road vehicle designed to withstand high-impact forces,
and it's really, I think it's a really good-looking car. I genuinely have one of them. I think they look absolutely awesome.
Apparent fragility of the material is perplexing. In a concerning development, just one day after a Formula Leopard 5 owner posted a video of bending the chassis component with a wrench, another BYD Leopard 5 owner reported a serious incident on January 5th. The car's undercarriage beam broke while using the factory-provided tow hook for a rescue operation.
Big trouble here. After using the Formula Leopard 5 for a rescue, a car owner found the main beam broken. This is unacceptable for a rugged off-roader.
Again, in BYD's defense, I've seen beams break. If you really overload it, then you might snap it, especially with the torque of an electric car.
The owner said he'd be afraid to use it for rescues in the future. Do we even need a wrench? No. And just a simple rescue effort, and it cracks like this.
On January 7th, an alarming incident was reported by two separate car owners. While off-roading, the ball heads of the tie rods in their Formula Leopard 5 vehicles fell off. This caused the steering mechanism to lock, the lower arms to bend, and tires to detach.
When I parked earlier, the car's tire was on ice. The rear wheel got stuck, but the front didn't. Then the female driver got out and we heard a crack, the ice broke, and the front wheel fell.
I don't know why it matters. It's a female driver, but hey ho, you know. In this, I've seen lower arms bend slightly, but normally it'll be a track rod end that snaps.
In. I asked her to get back in and straighten the wheel, but she couldn't turn the steering wheel.
It's advert time. Hang on, people.
Steering rod that was broken, the axle was too.
In an official response on January 5th, the product manager of Formula Leopard addressed concerns in the
This is the one
Unraveling
that
the
got me
Leopard
bothered.
segment. He assured that the Leopard 5's main frame is made of high-strength steel, thoroughly tested for safety and reliability, urging customers to remain confident in its use. However, many Leopard 5 owners feel that the manufacturer should provide a clearer explanation about the incidence of the main beam bending. They demand clarity on whether the Formula Leopard 5 is indeed suitable for high-intensity off-roading, as an assurance to both current and prospective owners. Concerns over the safety and reliability of the Leopard 5 have led some owners to conduct independent
Just
tests,
look at that though.
which
there.
they have
We'll just go back a little tiny bit.
current and prospective
Let's just
owners.
have a quick look here. Right, that is here is your shock absorber. It looks like it's bagged there, but I don't think it is. No, that might be bagged. It looks like it's got an airbag in the middle of the spring. But look at this. Look at it's a tiny weld. None of that's touching. There's a gap. And this is overlapping, but there's just a weeny weld there. That doesn't look too hot, to be totally honest with you. And I'm surprised at that.
Conduct independent tests, which they have shared online.
I saw a video yesterday where a blogger was testing the chassis hardness of the Leopard 5. I didn't believe it at first. I thought his lower...
That's mental. Like, that's unbelievably bad. That's the bit that I watched, because up to that point I was a bit skeptical. Watched that bit and I was like, what is that lower arm made out of? Chocolate? If I did that with a spanner and I did it on my Tiguan, I could hang off it. Guarantee it, off the rear, because it's got cups on the rear. There's no way that should do that. None at all.
Lower arm was different from mine. Today I came to verify it myself. Just a light touch with a wrench. I don't want to use force. It's my car, and I care for it. This part of the lower arm should be the strongest. An off-roader is bound to get knocked around. But even a light wrench touch here created 2 cracks. You go to rescue a car and end up tearing the main beam, that's just not acceptable. So how's the PR team at the factory going to whitewash this one?
So they go on talking about the car, how much it is, and then they go into what's been going on with BYD catching fire and the fact that the CCP has been like disappearing.
Heinous combustion
people.
incidents involving its new energy vehicles have been a focal point of public concern. How frequent are BYD's fire incidents? On the Douyin platform, there are hundreds of videos related to BYD vehicle fires. However, each time an accident involving a BYD vehicle occurs, the information mysteriously disappears from the internet. On April 5, 2023, Mr. Yang from Guangdong province, driving his BYD Han hybrid, crashed into a guardrail on the Baomao expressway near the Senshi exit. The car caught fire, and villagers from nearby Ximeng village immediately tried to rescue him. Tragically, they couldn't open the car doors, and attempts to break the windows with stones were unsuccessful. As the fire intensified, they had to abandon the rest.
I'd take this with a pinch of salt though, because you don't know what's true and what's not.
Accident was the car's hidden door handles, which prevented escape. Analysis of the accident scene suggested that the collision damaged all the car's batteries and fuses, rendering the electronic unlocking system inoperable. BYD requested the removal.
See, that sounds a bit simplified, should I say.
Death in the fire. The car owner's family awaited an official statement and investigation from BYD, but instead received a demand for the deletion of relevant articles. Online, BYD has been criticized as a rubbish company and accused of ignoring the frequent battery combustion incidents and suppressing information about consumer rights issues. Many BYD products have been criticized for shoddy manufacturing and failing to meet market quality standards. The core of evaluating a new energy vehicle still revolves around its battery, motor, and electronic control systems. Comparisons between BYD and Tesla highlight significant differences between the two brands.
Tesla is definitely better than BYD, or is it the other way around? Here's the motor, electronic control, and reducer of the Tesla Model 3. And here's BYD's. Which one do you think is better? This is the engine compartment of the BYD Han. It's fully packed, not a bit of space. Look at the Model 3's front compartment. It has a front trunk. Remove it, and there's lots of space underneath. Who's got the better design? The Model 3 has 4 battery modules. If one goes bad, you can just replace that one for 10,000 yuan. The BYD Han's blade battery is a single large module, glued in place. They use glue where they lack technology. But if one battery blade fails, you can't fix it. You have to replace the whole pack for over 100,000 yuan.
Even scarier is the fact that there are reports online of incidents involving a runaway BYD car causing 1 death and 5 injuries garnered media attention. The owner explained that the tragedy occurred because the BYD car suddenly failed to brake. A detailed account of the incident was shared by the owner in a lengthy Weibo post. In the last quarter of the previous year, BYD's global electric vehicle sales surpassed American automaker Tesla for the first time. BYD's rapid rise is attributed to China's subsidy policy for new energy vehicles. Chinese state media reported that from early 2009 to December 2021, China's new energy vehicle market benefited from 12 years of subsidies. During this period, approximately 129.5 billion yuan in subsidies were allocated, covering over 1.9 million new energy vehicles, including the 2019 to 2020 advanced subsidies of 18 billion yuan. The total subsidies reach about 147.8 billion yuan, approximately 20.6 billion US dollars. Due to these subsidies, sales of new energy vehicles in China grew more than 260 times in 12 years, from 5,209 units in 2009 to 1.4 million units in 2020. Even during the pandemic outbreak in 2021, sales of new energy vehicles exceeded 2.5 million units in the first 10 months of the year. Observers marvel at the rise of China's new energy vehicles but are concerned about the government's industrial policy and ambitions behind companies like BYD. Since 2010, China has implemented a series of incentive and subsidy policies, encouraging domestic automakers to focus on electric vehicle manufacturing and expanding battery charging infrastructure, including tax breaks for consumers. In 2015, Beijing launched the Made in China 2025 strategy to replace the United States as the leading global economic power, aiming to dominate the development and production of next-generation technologies, including new energy vehicles. However, BYD's ambitions extend beyond surpassing Tesla. Since 2022, BYD has been actively expanding into international markets, entering countries like Japan, Thailand, Germany, Sweden, New Zealand, and Australia, and establishing its own factories in some of these countries. BYD's success is the result of China's years-long effort to build an automotive manufacturing base, aiming for a significant presence in the global automobile market. On January 7th, David Goldman, a prominent American China watcher and economist who wrote for Asia Times, expressed concerns on X about the rapid development of various industries in China, supported by government policies. He pointed out that starting with solar panels and steel, then telecommunication infrastructure, followed by semiconductors and electric vehicles, Chinese industry is trying to catch up with the United States. BYD's aggressive expansion poses a challenge to global traditional automotive giants. A report by the Financial Times discussed BYD's aggressive approach, stating that the influx of low-cost Chinese electric vehicles into Western markets poses an urgent dilemma for Western governments, caught between encouraging the adoption.
But let's get one thing clear. If BYD are sending cars that are built well, that work well, that are, you know, they don't go rusty, they aren't costing a fortune to fix, I'm all for that. I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing. We've got cars in the UK from all over the world, so there's no reason why China can't compete in this market, in my view. My concern is when you see the quality of that steel, those lower arms should not be like that where you can just tear into it with a spanner. It must be absolute the crappiest steel you could possibly get, and that's worrying because I'd love to get a BYD on a ramp. In fact, as soon as I can get one on a ramp, I'm going to have a look. I want to have a look. I actually emailed BYD to let me have a look at a vehicle, and I got no response. I was just told to phone the local dealer. I phoned them. They didn't want to know. So, I don't know. They have their press days, but that's not, you know, that's not any good to me. I want to see underneath the thing. So, yeah. So, I just saw this. It kind of bothered me. There's a lot of stuff about Tesla. And there was a big claim, wasn't there, that BYD had made loads more cars than Tesla. But basically, they're getting all these subsidies, and it's a bit like they had a thing with the electric bikes, where they had all these loads and loads of electric bikes, and there were subsidies for these electric bikes, and they were, you know, the ones where you go to a city and you put your phone on and you pay, I don't know, a couple of quid to go up the road on it. There are millions of these bikes to the point where they started to become an issue as like polluting the city because of these blooming things. They were everywhere. And it was just people cashing in, getting subsidies. And I think it worries me that the cars that are coming across, are we really checking these cars? Are we really having a look? Are they really safe? Is the quality really like that? I don't know. I honestly don't know because I haven't seen one up close. But I saw that and I thought, that is genuinely worrying. So I thought I'd share it with you. So tell me what you think in the comments. Am I wrong? Obviously, I've had a little cheeky beer because it's Saturday and I've burped my way through this video. But I hope you've enjoyed it. And see you on the other side, you cheeky sausages. I'm trying to find